If you're here to see this, you're witnessing something that's never happened, and that's me being on time. So I'm just going to wait till, oh, it is 1:15. Thank you for joining if you're here. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever made it on time. So I feel like I deserve a round of applause. But if somebody could just give me a thumbs up to let me know you can see and hear me, I would be so thankful for that. Yes. Hi, SJ. Whoa, SJ, you graduated to duck. Look at you. I think that's the first time I've seen that. Those little emojis. Hi, Summer. Hi, Jana. Thank you for joining. So yes, I started at 1:15 on time. So I'm going to end around 2 o'clock-ish because on Wednesdays I run and I get free food from some local grocery stores that I take to church on Wednesday night. So I have to be out of here by 2 though, or it's not going to happen and come together on time. So today we are going to talk about nail biting. This was a question that was asked in a mom's group, and I feel like I have answers for that. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But before we do, I'm just going to do the updates that I always start with. And if you have questions that have anything to do with the topic, or you want to contribute or give answers along the topic that we're talking about, please do that in the chat. That's what it's there for, and people can see it later. Marina, I'm surprised I'm on time too. I know I try every week, and today the stars aligned and it worked out. So hi, Marina. Hi, Faith. I've not said hi to you. Hi, Mrs. Nayara. Oh, great to see you here. Good to see her. So for those of you that are not members, I do this every Wednesday at 1:15, give or take. Well, always give, never take. Always late is what I mean by that. And on the first Wednesday of every month, it's open to everybody. And the reason why I do that is because it brings revenue. I mean, that's just the simple answer. It is a way for me to make a little bit of income from home. And because I have that incentive, I make sure that it happens every Wednesday. Because believe you me, every Wednesday has been crazy ever since I started this. So if I didn't have that incentive, it'd be like, sorry, it's canceled today, and I wouldn't be sticking with it. So because I know I have the subscribers and I know they paid for their membership, I make sure that this happens every Wednesday at 1:15-ish. And I can share some of my things that I've learned over the years. And but the first one of the month is always open to everybody. So that's today. It's the first Wednesday of March. I'm going to turn my camera here real quick. This is my little buddy. Hi, Ollie. Hi, Ollie. So there you are. So Ollie is wearing big boy clothes. We just bought him big boy clothes 2 days ago. He graduated out of wearing sleepers. Oh, you want to see it again now, huh? He graduated out of sleepers, and he's actually wearing shorts and shorts. Now he wants to see it again. Who was that queen baby? Ich, yeah, Ich is there. Ich. And he is so happy with his new clothes, and he just wants to look at himself in the mirror and is very happy to be a big boy. He also got one of those walkers, so he can just walk through the house with it, and he is just so thrilled with all that. My son Solomon's calling me. I'm going to have to reject this. Ask Miriam to call Solomon and see if he needs anything from me, though. Please, Anna. So that's the update. But the biggest update is that Oliver had surgery last Friday to remove a mucocele from inside his mouth, and that went really, really well. And I was a little worried because the surgery, they said once they have him in, it would be about 15 minutes. And it was really great. They had an app, and every time anything about his status changed, they would send me a text message. So I got a text message when he got into, oh, you want to see it? I got a text message when they took him into the ER. I got a text message when they started. So I was kind of in the loop on that, but then it took about 40 minutes. And not only did it take 40 minutes, but while he was back there, and they have more than one operating room, it's a big hospital, but they called it code blue. And I was like, I'm surely that's not about my baby, you know. And I don't think it was. I'm sorry. Did you hit the table too hard? Anna, I need you to take the baby, please. So then after he came out of surgery and the doctor found me to give me the update, they said that it took longer because the mucocele was a lot deeper than they anticipated. The base was very large, so they had to cut deeper and do more stitches. And they said he had trouble breathing and he needed help breathing, and they intubated him, which they weren't planning on doing. So that's why it took longer. And then later I was like, I hope that code blue wasn't about him having, respiratory failure. I hope that's not what they meant by he needed help breathing, but I'm guessing they would have told me if that was about him. But anyway, he's doing great now. He was only in pain really that first day, Friday, and ever since then he seemed perfectly fine. And the thing is gone out of his mouth. I haven't really been able to look at it to see how well it's healing. He doesn't want me messing with it, but he's doing really, really well. So thank you for those who prayed for him. And I think that it's great that that's been taken care of, and he will do so much better. I'm going to go through here real quick before I switch gears for a second and see who I haven't said hi to yet. Summer, if I missed you, hi. Hi, Valerie. Good to see you. Okay, so the nail biting. Okay, so yes, and we're going to talk about nail picking. We're also going to talk about skin picking. There's all sorts of things that all fall into the same category. I'm going to talk about that. And yes, he does look like Solomon, SJ. I think so too. He's a good little guy. All right, quick change of gears before we get into the topic, nail biting. We're not quite there yet. I wanted to give you an update that I'm excited about. I don't know if you guys will be excited about, but this is the first book I ever published, the Busy Family Menu Planning Cookbook, and it has 10 weeks of menus in it. And originally, when I first went to make this book, it was supposed to be 12 weeks. But it just got to a point, I think I got pregnant right as it was supposed to get published, and I started feeling bad. So I made it 10, but all along I wanted it to be 12 weeks because that makes for 3 months, and then you can rotate every 3 months. So I am finally adding 2 weeks to it. So this book has been out, I believe, for 5 or 6 years now. And I'm adding 2 weeks to it, week 11 and 12. But I'm not just adding week 11 and 12. I am actually, so that would make for 22 recipes because it's 11 recipes per week. But I'm actually adding 31 or 32 recipes because I added some other extra recipes in the back. So I added a section on drinks. And that has like spiced cider in it. It has a really good nursing smoothie. It has a banana oat shake and things like that. So I added a whole section on drinks, and I added some other extras in the back. I have a no-cook enchilada sauce in there that I sometimes use instead of the cooked enchilada sauce that's in there. So I just added a few things. And basically, the wonderful thing with publishing on Amazon is that you can change your manuscript and you can re-upload it and then publish it with a new one, and then the new edition comes out. So I'm adding 2 weeks, week 11 and 20, 31 recipes. So I have to show you because this is week 11. I did the recipes, and I'm now in the process of proofreading and adding it to the shopping list. So it'll have, these are all things we make all the time. So it has popovers, so 5 breakfasts, popovers, this really, really good green chili egg bake for breakfast, brioche loaf. If you know the Trader Joe's one, this is like that. Chorizo, so a recipe for making your own chorizo, for making burritos. And these blackberry financiers, which Anna makes. These are actually made with almond flour, and these are so good. And then for dinners, a super, super easy sheet pan recipe of chicken thighs that I roast, and they come out really flavorful. Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. That's great for when you have company because it's easy and super flavorful. Now this one, this is chicken and gnocchi al forno. This is an Italian dish that I used to eat back home in Germany, where we have real Italian restaurants from, real Italians that only speak Italian. It's kind of like here you can get like an authentic Mexican run by actual Mexicans, not, Taco Bell. So if you think of like Italian food in the US, it's really kind of like the Taco Bell of Italian food. Whereas if you go over there, you have like real Italians making real Italian food, like a street taco here. So this is a dish that I recreated because I couldn't find it anywhere here. And it's very authentic to something you would get at a real Italian restaurant over there. And I made that myself. I'm quite proud of it. A really easy corn and potato chowder and chili mac, which is, just as the name applies. And then for the dessert, I have chocolate chip cookies. I got that recipe from Mrs. Joanne Jimenez, a good friend of mine for many years now, and her cookies are the best. I still can't get mine as good as hers, but I have a recipe and it's in the cookbook. So that's week 11. I'm going to have week 12. Now you can get it two different ways. One way is to buy it on Amazon when the new book comes out. And if yours looks like mine, where it gets used a lot, mine is literally falling apart, then I'm due for one anyway. Now, the ones on Amazon, sadly, they're not spiral bound. These spiral bound ones are the first edition that I ordered from a publisher from a printer that made these. Amazon does not offer spiral binding at this time. So it would not have the spiral binding. But it would basically, you can get it on Amazon once the new manuscript publishes there, hopefully in less than 2 weeks. The other thing I'm going to do is that if you would like just the PDF of the additional 2 weeks and the extra recipes in the back, I am going to make the PDF available. I'm probably going to do the same as I did with the cookbook a few weeks ago, where for a donation of $5 or more to our family fund, our travel fund, I will email you the PDF with the 31 or 32 recipes. So then you can print it like I did here, and you can put it in the back of your book. That's the other way to get it. Or if you're just like, hey, I'm broke, but I want the recipes, could you send them to me? I will still send them to you. So you don't have to give me anything to get it. You just have to ask. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited because these are recipes that I literally, and I do mean literally, cook out of this cookbook 7 days a week. Every once in a while, I find a new recipe, and then I'll try a new recipe if it looks promising, or I'll learn a tweak from a recipe that I incorporate into my recipes. But these are literally the recipes and the menus that I use every single week, and it has been a real sanity saver. It also, saves a lot of money, keeps things interesting. So I'm really excited to have this. Really, just even for myself. I write the books that I myself use just so I have all my things together and I can make it really user-friendly for me. And if anybody else benefits from it in the process, then that's wonderful. I'm really excited for it. But anyway, I'm hoping to get that out by next week. Why by next week? Some of you may know I mentioned this. My daughters and I, my 3 oldest daughters and I, plus Oliver, are going to New York City next week. We are flying out on the very, very first flight on Wednesday morning, and we're getting back on the very last flight on Saturday. And with time change, one second. Chloe, did you get your sandwich, honey? It's on the counter. We are going to see the Phantom of the Opera in New York City. You can go get it, honey. It's all right. You can walk through the back. Because it is ending on Broadway after 35 years, and I wanted them to see it before it goes away. I saw it when I was a teenager in Switzerland. We went there and just to see the Phantom, and I wanted them to have that experience. So we are going there. We are flying out on Wednesday, like I said. So it'll just me and some of the kids, and the rest of them are staying home with Dad, and my mother-in-law is coming to help. So, but I won't be on Wednesday. So I'm thinking that either there will be a What's New Wednesday on Tuesday, or maybe I'll check in while we're somewhere along the route. So keep your eyes open, but it will not be what it is today when it is today. That's all I wanted to say. So let me see if there's any new comments that I need to incorporate. Hi, Annabelle. Good to see you. Annabelle, tell me again, are you from Hamburg or Hanover? I thought it was somewhere up north with an H. Annabelle's from Germany. Rachel, hi. The cookbook. Oh, yes, Summer. I'm glad you waited too. That's exciting. And yes, SJ, the PDF. So yeah, I want to make that available to people who don't already have it. Chocolate chip cookies. Rachel, those cookies are the best. And I don't like chocolate, but I make them with white chocolate and macadamia, which it talks about in the recipe, about subbing it. And that's like kryptonite. I can't make it because if I do, I'll eat until I'm sick, and they're just that good. So yeah, Summer, I'm excited for the book too. Oh, that's awesome. SS says she used to play some of the songs for her dad on the piano. Well, we've been listening to the Phantom in the car when we drive, because on Apple Music they have the entire production on there. It's really quite awesome. So if you have any tips of must not miss while in New York, I would welcome those. Hanover. Okay. Annabelle, we are thinking about going to Berlin. So I think that's just due. I think that's southeast of Hanover. I was wondering how close to you we were getting. That's why I was asking. Because we're gonna be where I was born in Gotha. And from there, I'm kind of debating, not sure if this will be doable, but basically on 5 consecutive days, and this would involve about 3 hours of driving each day between stops, going from Gotha to Berlin, from Berlin to Dresden. Dresden is the city that was carpet bombed, firebombed by the Allied forces. On February 14 to 1945, so shortly before the war ended. It was really not necessary, and I wanted my kids to see Dresden because it's, to me, that's like a really important event that happened during World War II. So anyway, Monday Berlin, Tuesday Dresden, Wednesday Prague, Czech Republic, Thursday Vienna, which is the capital of Austria, Friday Budapest, which is the capital of Hungary. Weekend through Monday in Hungary, where my family in Hungary lives, and all the way back to Germany. So kind of quixotic. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but it would kind of be cool to hit 4 capitals in 5 days. So I haven't booked anything yet. I'm kind of playing it by ear. That'll be 2.5 weeks into our trip, and we'll see how the kids are doing, and if that seems like a good idea or like a really, really bad idea. So we'll see. Oh, SS. Oh, that's what SS said. She feels like Christine always chose the wrong guy. Yeah, it's definitely a story that pulls on the heartstrings. Okay, so Annabelle thinks it's worth visiting Berlin. Annabelle, I've never been to Berlin, and I'm kind of scared by it. It's kind of like I'm scared of New York City. So if you have tips to share, I welcome them. You can message me, are they all yours blog at gmail.com if you have any tips, because I'm kind of scared about Berlin. It seems like it'd be really cool, but I've never been, so because it's unfamiliar. Anyway, we're going to push all this off the table now. We're going to get to topic, and the topic is nail biting. I got to see if my nails are clean, but I used to be a nail biter. I mean, it's embarrassing, but I used to be a nail biter. And I want to talk about that because I think that either yourself or your kids, you are likely to deal with this at some point. And if you're not dealing with nail biting, you will be dealing most likely with something that's similar and falls into the same category. And that's called body-focused repetitive behaviors. Body-focused repetitive behaviors, which is like a subset of obsessive compulsive behaviors. And I think all of us have certain obsessive compulsive traits. And it's just important to learn the impulse control to where we control them and they don't control us. And I think that's ultimately when nail biting falls in. So other body-focused repetitive behaviors could be hair pulling, even hair twirling and tearing it out. I've seen that in people where they actually like rip their hair out. It could be any grooming behavior, basically. It could be picking at your skin. It could be, instead of nail biting, it could be biting the skin around your nail, the cuticles, basically. Or it could be picking at scabs. It could, even until you bleed or hurt yourself, it could be biting. It kind of is like anything that's kind of a grooming behavior that you do compulsively. And all of them fall into this body-focused repetitive behavior. But today we're going to talk specifically about nail biting. Now, I used to be a nail biter, and you can tell I am not. I don't know how well you can see that, but my nails are short, and I keep them short. I keep them shorter than basically where the skin starts. So I keep them somewhere in between here. And the reason for that is just that, I do a lot of housework and my hands are constantly getting wet. So if the nails get longer, they get weak, they bend, they tear, and then there's a temptation, if they're tearing, just let me rip it off. So for me, they are stronger when they're shorter, and that's why I kind of keep them short like that. Now, there are some very important reasons why you want to stop nail biting, and I'm going to talk about them too. But one of the biggest reasons, aside from the fact that, it might be embarrassing, that's not really the biggest reason, but it's bad for your front incisors. Dentists actually say that they can tell whether somebody bites their nails or not by their front incisors, because they will start getting brittle and chipped and really, really bad. So for the sake of your front teeth, you really don't want to bite your nails. The other thing is that if your nails are going in your mouth, if your fingers are going in your mouth, you are putting all sorts of dirt and germs and bacteria in your mouth that you do not want in your mouth. And even when you say, well, my nails are clean, I can look at them, they're clean, there's stuff under there that you cannot see. And the biggest thing, anytime you have hand to mouth motion, whether that's thumb sucking or nail biting or nose picking, anytime you're putting your fingers in your mouth, you are very likely to get parasites, and specifically pinworms. They're very prevalent, and it's easy to get them in your household if you have toddlers or preschoolers, because they're constantly putting their fingers in their mouth and they're not clean. So the way that you get those is that an egg from a pinworm gets under your nail, and then when you bite that nail, you ingest that egg, and then that egg hatches and you now have pinworms. So thumb sucking, nail biting, nose picking, all these things go hand in hand with having pinworms. And once one member of the family gets it, it is really, really difficult to prevent it spreading to everybody else, which is why if one member of the family has it, the medical advice is to treat the entire family. So this is why it's important to give up nail biting. Because even when your nails are looking clean, they are not clean. And you definitely don't want to do that, biting your nail thing. Now, how did I overcome it? I don't know. It's really difficult to say because I'd been a nail biter for probably 2 decades of my life, if I had to guess. And really, it just came down one day to deciding, and it sounds stupid, but I just one day decided I'm just not going to do it. But if you're not going to do something, you have to do something else instead of what you want to do. So I decided when I feel like biting my nails, I'm instead going to cut my fingernails. Because I wouldn't bite them all the time. I didn't bite them every day. I would bite them maybe every 4 or 5 days. So I decided instead of biting them, I'm going to cut them because I just needed to mess with them in some way, if that makes sense. So I got fingernail scissors, and we're going to talk about fingernail scissors. And I would cut my fingernails with fingernail scissors. And that gave me that satisfaction of, okay, I'm taking care of this. I'm messing with my nails. Now they look good. And it gets that compulsion. It scratches that itch if you want. Now, I don't know what it is about the US, Annabelle, you're going to understand. You need nail scissors. I'm not talking cuticle scissors. I'm talking nail scissors. Do not use nail clippers. Nail clippers, well, they don't make a nice round cut. They're kind of, I don't know, barbaric, I guess. It's like a guillotine for nails. I mean, they're okay for toenails, I guess, although I even use scissors for my toenails. But on your fingers, you want to use nail scissors. You used to be able to buy these at the store. I can't find them anymore. I have to order them on Amazon. Really important, these are not cuticle scissors. Look for fingernail scissors. And you can even buy toenail scissors. They're the same thing, but a little bit stronger and sturdier. And this is far better for cutting your fingernails than clippers, because clippers they're just so barbaric. They just chop. There's no satisfaction there of, I took care of my nails. So I don't know what it is in the US where everybody clips their fingernails. I only cut them, and I recommend you do the same because it's much better for your nails, and it gives you that satisfaction of, I cut my nails. So however short you want to cut them, but cut them rather than biting them and scratch that itch. Now, I also I had 2 kids that were major nail biters. And there are different ways that you can address nail biting and based in kids when it's not yourself and others. And one would be that you punish them when they do it, or that you make it impossible for them to do it. And then the other would be to encourage them not to do it. So along the punishing them, I guess there's 3 ways. Punish them, or make it impossible, or help them to overcome it. Now let's go through those 3 things. Punishing them. I definitely would not punish a child for nail biting. It does not seem fair. There are so many adults who struggle with that. It does not seem fair to punish a child for that. It's a very difficult thing to overcome. 1 second.